So now we're going to look at USDCAD and USDCHF. So this is the third top-down analysis. I'm going to try to go into detail with USDCHF, and then with the USDCAD, most of you guys already know what we are looking out for. Now, with USDCHF, we can see our 9 to 18 month profile. Price was consolidating for a couple of months, and then now we are seeing an expansion to the upside. For the past 3 months, market has really exploded to the upside. This is to the fact of a strong dollar. Now, with that in mind, we should be hunting for long opportunities on USDCHF and also on USDCAD. Now, with that in mind, with the strong dollar being forecast for the next month or so, or most probably up until ECB start increasing their rates, we should have a very strong dollar. With that in mind, our draw on liquidity is to the upside. And if you look on USDCHF on the monthly chart, we've got the high of May. The high of May coming in at 1.0063, right? The fact that we traded through these relatively equal highs here, you see, that in itself signifies the bulls are quite strong, right? Yes, there was a huge rejection we had witnessed prior to the end of May. Market was weak, right? USDCHF was weak, which is to be expected. That's a healthy price action. So now we are expanding again to the upside, and I'm expecting price to mirror the expansion of April, which came in with almost like 515 pips. I'm expecting market to expand again 515 pips. That takes us above 1.0063, the draw on liquidity, and ultimately we should be targeting these highs here. Just gonna zoom out. See, should be targeting 1.0236, right? That's the ultimate target on USDCHF. But for now, we should anticipate price to target 1.00630. From which levels now? From discount areas. Already price has found support inside the down candle of May, right? Price has found support. We've created a new high, so expect market to create another high with a strong dollar being forecast. We expect USDCHF to create a new high and most probably target these old term highs, right? 2019 high, 2017 high, and 2015 high. I'm anticipating market to trade above those levels. So we've got a monthly bullish order block, which has seen the first initial leg move higher for this month. And then we also have this favorably gap to the downside. Now that's a long-term target for our support once we have retracements to the downside. Then we've got this monthly bearish order block. Is price going to find resistance inside that bearish order block? Only on negative news for the dollar, only on a dovish Federal Reserve. Then we should anticipate this premium array to provide resistance. But as it is right now, I don't see this premium array providing any resistance to price. Yes, price might consolidate, right? Price might consolidate inside this structure before a push to the upside. But if it's a case that we get a dovish Fed forecast, then we can have a consolidation before another move to the bullish order block here, because that will be the draw on liquidity. Now, if we get negative news for the dollar, the draw on liquidity will be to the downside. If we get a positive, if we get a hawkish Federal Reserve, then this price is definitely gonna just meander, consolidate around this level, and then push to the upside. So now when we go to the weekly chart, now on the weekly chart, you can clearly see our draw on liquidity 1.00639. That's our draw on liquidity. From which levels should we anticipate price to find support for a push to the upside? From this bullish order block here, or the more we go to a lower time frame, you will see that there's other discount areas inside this last week's expansion candle. Now you can see what this expansion candle did from a monthly bullish order block. It was drawn to this imbalance here. Now remember, price is always drawn to imbalance. That gives you emphasis of knowing what is your target when you get into a trend, right? Knowing where should price likely be drawn to. That can give you signal to say, okay, my take profit should be around this area. So basically for someone who went long on USDCHF last week, their targets would have been the low of this bearish order block. So now this bearish order block on the weekly chart, we need to see negative news for the dollar for it to provide what? Resistance, and price pushes back to the downside. Also on the monthly chart, one other thing, see we've got a monthly breaker here. Now if I go to the weekly chart, that breaker is right here. This is our breaker. So any retracements to the downside, expect the 0.9482 to be very sensitive in terms of support to price. And we go to the daily chart. Now this is where things become interesting, folks. On the daily chart, we've got this bearish order block, right? Now why am I highlighting that bearish order block? Because it was broken to the upside. It's a supply zone broken. In 10 it becomes demand. So when we see a retracement to the downside, retracement to these levels, we should see price rally to the upside. Now once you have that kind of outlook in your analysis, there's no other reason why you should say, okay, now I'm gonna short USDCHF. You're basically going against what? Smart money there. You're basically going against the trend, which is not ideal. You don't need to go against the trend. You can see here on Wednesday there was a breaker to the upside, price closed above. Tuesday it broke and traded above, but the buyers couldn't sustain price and then it came back. Wednesday we broke and traded above. Look what happened when price returned. Inside here there's a discount area, right, which provided support, and then price moved to the upside. You can see right there, that's our main threshold. I'm gonna highlight this level here and then just give it a different, let me give it dotted lines so that we know it's our main threshold of the bearish breaker that was broken to the upside. So it's going to be sensitive in terms of providing support. So that's 0.972. That would be ideal area for long entries if price does retrace to the downside. But those long entries should be supported by positive fundamentals for the dollar. See? Now, we are now going to go to the H4 time frame. Right, there is that discount area I was talking about, because I actually traded this pair last week. So the same thing can happen once price returns to this level, but now we need to be mindful that we might get a run of stops to the downside, where the stops below these levels here, the price should push to the upside if we get a positive news release. So on the H4 you can see the draw on liquidity. The draw on liquidity on the H4 is right here. So anticipate this level to be filled, right? But for your entries now, we've got fair value right here. See? we've got fair value here. Now what I want to see next week is for price to rebalance this inefficiency here, right? Once we get that inefficiency rebalanced, right, then we should see a move to the upside and ultimately targeting 1.00639. See, that's the price action that I would want to see. Once we rebalance this inefficiency on H4, then we should see price being drawn to the upside to rebalance 1 and 2. You see, 1 and 2 imbalances will likely be filled as we head into FOMC on Wednesday. So anticipate a very bullish USDCHF next week, and I've already given you the point of interest, the areas that you need to focus on as we head into FOMC. So this discount area here, this imbalance on H4, on positive news for the dollar, expect price to find support and rally to the upside. But if you get negative news for the dollar, then these areas are not gonna hold. Price will just break through and trade to the downside, and ultimately most probably going to trade into this H4 discount, which comes right at the equilibrium point of a level that has been broken to the upside by a bullish breaker. So a retest of this level, and then the buyers will come back in to the picture, right? So that's USD CHF. We're going to look at USD CAD now, and the same bias continues again. There's no need for us to switch to say we're going to short USD CAD. No, the only reason you're going to short USD CAD is negative news for the dollar, or a dovish FOMC meeting, or strength in crude, in Brent crude oil. That will also provide you an opportunity to short USD CAD. But as it is right now, the draw on liquidity is to the upside. I'm targeting for USD CAD to trade. Let me see what price point is this. 1.30800. So 1.30800 is our draw on liquidity on USD CAD. 1.30800. That's our draw on liquidity on USD CAD. Might take maybe a month and a half or even 2 months for price to reach out for that price point, or it can really move to the upside. Like you see the expansion that we saw in April, with an expansion of close to 364 pips, and currently we've only expanded 156, so we still need 300 more. See, that takes us to just below 1.300. See, so ultimately that should take us to 1.30800 is our draw on liquidity. Now we've got this monthly bullish order block. Okay, so this is the area that is in control of price right now. Price has actually found support inside this monthly bullish order block, and you can see the 9 to 18 month profile. We have to look at this chart here. So that's the 18. Where's 18? Right here. So the 9 to 18 month profile started on this down candle, and we have completed a reversal. We ran away from the 18 month candle, then we had a reversal, right? So now market is looking to run to the upside, so expecting an expansion, and the market structure is bullish. We're having lows, higher lows, lows, higher lows, higher highs, I mean, then lower, low, and then higher high. That's a market structure for long entries. Now when you go to the weekly chart, now on the weekly chart you can see here we've got a bullish order block. You see, now we are defining like our entries. You see, we already noted that, okay, we should be looking for longs, but from which discount area should we target longs? Number one, remember, you should not be struggling to identify these premium and discount areas, guys. If you see yourself struggling, then something is wrong. You need to move on and look at another chart, right? So this weekly bullish order block, and you can already see we've got this low and the high, right? From low to high. I just need to take note of my retracement levels. You can see how price traded right into optimum trade entry and the 79% retracement level, which is our discount zone. See, as a discount zone, when we go to lower time frame, say the daily, you see that there is discount areas there. There's our last down close candle before the first move to the upside. That makes it a bullish order block. Last down close candle, boom, market moves to the upside. So I'm going to go back to the weekly chart because we're still working on this one here. So that's our weekly discount, and you can see our target 1.30800. So this is your range of opportunities, guys. See this? This is where the market is likely to trade into, right? From which levels? Number one, the weekly discount array in the form of a bullish order block, targeting what? Old highs. Old highs coming in at 1.30800. See? So in no circumstances that we should see USDCAD trade below 1.2510. 1.2510. The moment we get USDCAD trading below that level, then our short-term bias has to change to bearish, because nothing is going to stop price being drawn to this old low. But with the strong dollar forecast that we have, we should not see USDCAD trade below 1.27 1.27170. Okay. So that's to say roughly the 1.2157 price point. We shouldn't see USDCAD trade below that level. Now I'm going to go on to the daily time frame, and you can see on the daily time frame now, the white shaded area, that's my weekly bullish order block, right? That's my weekly bullish order block. The draw on liquidity 1.30800. What's at 1.30800 in terms of premium and discount array? We've got a bearish order block. Okay? We've got a bearish order block, which should be your target for entries from where? From the daily fair value gap. Let me just highlight that. You see how I drop down to the next lower time frame, and I'll be having an array that I'm focusing on. And you see that, okay, inside that array, there's also another array, but on a different time frame. So that that weekly bullish order block, we have narrowed it down for our entries to a daily fair value gap. You can see here there's imbalance. So that's the draw on liquidity for your entries. You're expecting price to rebalance this. But now for that to happen, guys, you see, for market to rebalance that gap to the downside, there have to be negative news for the dollar or strong fundamentals for the CAD. You see, that's the only way we're going to see price rebalancing this gap here. Other than that, market is going to trade to the upside, targeting this daily bearish order block. Now we're going to go to H4. Now, let me see if there's any other interesting aspect of the market here that we need to take note of. Not really, but for scalping people, you can see here this candle here broke to the upside of these relatively equal highs, and we feel this imbalance and market stretched to the upside. So that means a retracement with a retest of these old highs here, price should find support and rally higher. Now on H4, we've got this imbalance right here. This is now H4. This would actually be ideal now zones, especially if you're looking to trade, say, on a Monday. If you're looking to trade on a Monday, these discount areas here will likely provide support on positive news for the dollar, and then price will likely rally to the upside. So this is your H4. So that's fair value gap on H4. Now remember the gray shaded area. What is the gray shaded area? I'm gonna go back to the daily, and then what do we have here? That's our weekly bullish order block. And then we've got our daily fair value gap right here. Let me mark it out. D1, and I must put a different color shade here so that we know what's what. So I'm gonna put a dodgy blue there, and then also dodgy blue here. Then dodgy blue there. So that when we go to H4, we already know that in between the dodgy blue lines, that's our daily fair value gap. But if you look closely, there's also gaps on H4. So anything positive for the CAD, then expect those imbalances to be your draw on liquidity. You're expecting price to fill up that imbalance. And the moment we get positive news for dollar, then they should provide support, and then price will move to the upside. So yeah, that's pretty much about it regarding USDCHF and USDCAD. One other thing which I wanted to you guys to take note of. Now I'm gonna go to the daily for USDCAD. Right. So for this strength in dollar that we are seeing right now, when you look at a commodity currency like USDCAD, you must also look at Brent crude oil. Right. You need to see lower prices in crude for weakness in USDCAD. Weakness in USDCAD, it means it's a strong dollar, long entries. But the moment you see Brent trading to a discount area and that area providing, say, support, like right now, the only level of price on Brent that we can expect a bit of buyers coming in on Brent is right here at $117 a barrel. So the move to the downside will result in a move to the upside on USD because that's weakness for CAD. Weakness for CAD is a bullish USD CAD. But the moment we get Brent, right? We get Brent trading to say $117 a barrel, $117.60, 65 a barrel. Then we expect buyers to come back, price to find a bit of support and rally to the upside. A bit of support in price in Brent will result in USD CAD trading lower. You see, that will be a strong Canadian dollar. Remember, USD CAD is a commodity pair, which you have to look in terms of correlation together with Brent. So higher prices in Brent will result in a bearish USD CAD. Lower prices in Brent will result in a bullish USD CAD. So yeah, that's pretty much about it for today, folks. And tomorrow, Monday, I'm going to do a top-down analysis on dollar index. I need to see Monday's price action on dollar index. I'm sure we've got a new contract now. The September contract is now out for dollar index, and I need that in terms of my weekly forecast. But in general, what I've discussed on USDCAD, USDCHF, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, Euro USD, and Pound USD, in general, that stays for a while. We should be bearish on Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, Pound USD, and Euro USD, and we should be bullish on USDCAD and USDCHF. So yeah, and pretty much if you're in the mentorship group, you now know exactly what you need to do when you're looking at the charts, what trades you should be looking out for, and from which uh, point of interest in terms of your premium and discount areas. By now, you should be knowing what to look out for. So yeah, if you're not in a mentorship group, guys, I cannot stress enough that yeah, there are things that I would have skipped here and can only be attended to in the mentorship group. So if you want to join the mentorship, you can just clearly send us a message, or even if you want to join the signal group, because we now have a group for signals for those who cannot afford to join the mentorship, who just want to take trades based on the strategy. You can join our signal group, then you can benefit in such a way. So yeah, I wish you guys good luck and happy trading in the coming week. Thank you.